Good afternoon, teachers. Welcome to in-house teachers training program. I am Mrs. Shravani Gupta from Calcutta Public School, Ormanjhi, Ranchi. Today, the topic is happy teachers creating happy spaces. I chose the topic because I found this topic to be very useful, informative, interesting, and above all, very important for all of us, for all the teaching community, teacher community. We all know a good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change everything. If we did each letter of the term teacher signify meaning, like T, take time, team captain; E, explain, encourager; A, assure, advisor; C, care, coach; H, help, helping hand; E, encourage, enricher; R, role model, respect. Teachers plant the seeds of knowledge that last a lifetime. Teaching is the profession that creates all other professions. Together, we give our children the roots to grow and the wings to fly. A teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart. Teaching is a work of heart. Teacher is not simply a teacher. He or she has a great role to play in students' life. Now I come to the topic, happiness creates happy teachers, creates happy spaces. What is happiness? What is happiness? Happiness is the fundamental objective of all human effort and activity in all cultures and societies. Happiness is used in the context of mental or emotional states, including positive or pleasant emotional, ranging from contentment to intense joy. It is also used in the context of life satisfaction, subjective well-being, eudaimonia, Greek word meaning happiness or welfare, flourishing and well-being. Our next point is, who is a happy person? Who is a happy person? A happy person is someone who is frequently cheerful, only occasionally sad, and generally satisfied with his or her life. We like optimists. Who is optimist?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Someone who tends to expect the good things will happen. Idealist. Someone who is idealistic. Romantic. Someone who believes that things are better or more exciting than they really are. The life and soul. It's a phrase. Someone who is very lively at social events. Happy camper. It's a phrase. Someone who is happy or satisfied with a situation, a ray of sunshine. Someone who is happy and makes other people feel happy. In fact, the phrase happy person is probably misleading because it implies that certain people are naturally happy. They are naturally happy, or that positive things happens to them more often. So, our next point is discover what makes you happy. Yes, this is very much important because we all are teachers and we must know our self well. Every teacher must know about herself and himself. Self-awareness is important because when we have a better understanding of ourselves, we can experience ourselves as unique and separate individuals. We are then empowered to make changes and to build on our areas of strength as well as identify areas where we would like to make improvements. Means self-awareness, to know oneself, to know himself or herself is very important. If once we know the areas of our strength and weaknesses, then there would be a scope of improvement. So it is very important for all of us to be aware of or to know the negative and the positive sides of ourselves. Teachers do more than teach. Yes, teachers do more than teach. The teacher's work is not only to teach, it's more than that. They foster social responsibility, broaden imaginations, and offer encouragement and support. The way a teacher perceives his or her job can directly impact on students, academically, behaviorally, and emotionally. Yes, this is very important, that the way the teacher acts, that totally brings changes, or the way a teacher perceives his or her job can directly have direct effect on students academically, behavior-wise, and also emotionally. Now, there is a group work actually. Teachers, we all need to do it if we want to know ourselves. Okay, so make a list of things that makes you happy, and share it with your colleagues and students so that they know, support, and understand you well. And before that, we have to identify our positive and negative emotions. We have to work on that. An emotionally intelligent teacher can create a happy environment in the classroom. Yes, this is also very important, and this works out. That emotional persons have sympathy. The emotional persons they have mercy. They have all kinds of things which goes in favor of the student. So emotional person, the researchers or the studies show that emotional persons can create a happy environment in the classroom. Happiness, I'll give you some example of positive emotion. Some examples of positive emotions are happiness, joy, interest, curiosity, excitement, gratitude, love, contentment, and feel good. And negative emotions, sadness, anger, loneliness, fear, jealousy, self-criticism or rejection, these are all painful. So if you compare these emotions, if you compare positive emotions with negative emotions, then you will you will be able to say that who can be a good teacher and create a happy environment in the classroom. Obviously, or certainly, we would go for emotional teacher or the teacher having positive emotions. So, teachers, now our next point is, how can you become a happy teacher? How can you become a happy teacher? Okay. If anyone could tell me, if anyone is interested to tell me something, okay. Teachers, actually, we know that two kinds of people are there. One is extrovert and another is introvert. Okay. Like just now I have told you that negative, positive emotions and negative emotions. So the positive emotions people, they can create a good environment in classroom. The teacher, they can be a good teacher. So here, how can you become a happy teacher? What all traits we should have? What all traits we should possess to have to become a happy teacher? If a teacher is happy, then obviously that impact will fall on the students. Studies show that highly extroverted people, that is, who are more socially outgoing and exhibit more sensitivity to rewards, that means tends to experience higher levels of a positive emotion. I have explained you just now, such as joy and enthusiasm, and many more positive emotions are there. Okay. And on the other hand, introverted people are prone to experiencing more anxiety, guilt, and depression, negative emotions. Every teacher must work on his or her personality traits that make them a teacher. Now, every teacher must, every teacher must work on his or her personality traits that would make a teacher happy. Extrovert teachers make a happy classroom because they have positive emotions. They can develop this trait in students and making a vibrant environment of learning. Yes, the teachers, we can create a vibrant environment, means we can create an environment which would be very lively and which would give a very vibrant effect on the students. Many qualities define a positive relationship. Many qualities are there. Many qualities define a positive relationship, and pave ways on how to create powerful student-teacher relationship. These can be seen to include good communication, a safe learning environment, and mutual respect, a positive and patient attitude, student equality, and timely praise. We'll discuss later on just the main topics on happy teachers create a happy spaces. Before that, before we come to the other rest of the points, I would like to focus on all these points also. So, see, teachers, a classroom should be a space where happiness takes precedence, where children are always met with a smile and with positivity. It not only happens with the students, teachers. Suppose when we go home and our kids, our children, when they find their mothers or parents coming to school after tiresome work from the school, but still they know, they understand that my mother is tired, my father is tired, But still, what they expect, what do they expect? What do the children expect from their parents? They expect a smile on the face. And that gives them happiness and relaxation. So similarly, a classroom should be a space where happiness takes precedence, where children are always met with a smile and with positivity. It is a space where their well-being is as important as their academic achievements. What makes the students enjoy the class? This is my question. What makes the students enjoy the class? Allowing students creative freedom in their learning is essential. Talk less and involve with students more. The more you make the class interactive and more that you utilize technology, the more students will enjoy what they are learning. Teachers, I want to brief you something about the relationship, how you manage relationship, how we manage. We can see the chart over here. How can you become a happy teacher? Self-awareness means to know oneself. Self-management, how I manage myself with the emotions, with the personality traits which I have, maybe negative, maybe positive, how I manage. And then social awareness, okay? Then how we keep, how happiness is, how we keep the relationship between teacher to teacher, a student, teacher to student. Happiness is all about you manage yourself and your relationship with your fellow teachers and students. Now I'm coming to the next point. What are the essentials for a happy classroom? Yes. What are the essentials for a happy classroom? A happy classroom cannot be built in a day. Yes, we know that. Like, we know that nothing can be built in a day. That is not possible. It needs sustainable and continuous efforts by all stakeholders. Means all of the members of the school must put their continuous efforts and efforts, okay, sustainable and continuous efforts by each one of the members of the school. Management and teachers should understand that a happy staff room is essential for happy classroom. Why? Because teachers, they sit in the classroom, in the staff room, they discuss, they communicate with each other, they interact with each other, and that gives many suggestions, advices to the teachers, and positive. Of course, we go for the positive suggestions, and that would definitely create a happy classroom. Practice mindfulness in the class, in the classroom. Mindfulness. Mindfulness, maintaining a moment by moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment. Okay, examples are there. Pay attention, live in the moment, accept yourself, focus on your breathing. So, practice mindfulness in the classroom. Yes, this is very much required. Mindfulness interventions can help students reduce their stress and anxiety and create positive emotions. We teachers always have to focus on the students' positivity, means how students take the teachers, how they assess the teacher. We must always remember that students must assess the teachers very positively. Teach students kindness and forgiveness. Yes, these are the qualities. These are the qualities the teachers should possess, and also they should teach their students to be kind, to be forgiveness, to forgive everything, because these things only motivate the children. Good words, good suggestions, good teachings by the teachers would develop the positivity into the child. So the best way to spread kindness is to be kind yourself. Yes, before we spread the message, we teach the students about kindness and forgiveness. First, we have to be kind. First, we have to see that before we teach them anything, am I to that? Am I to that? I am to that level. Teachers who use kind words are polite, respectful, patient, and well-mannered have students who emulate them. We at school must emphasize and practice empathy and compassion. Means we have to be sympathetic towards students. We have what just now I told you, that we have to teach kindness and forgiveness to the students, because there are many things which we can make the students, we can motivate the students by giving all this, by teaching them politeness, respect, patient, and mannerism, which the students would develop. We at school must emphasize and practice empathy and compassion. These two things are also very important at all levels, which will help us to feel what another is experiencing and can be incredibly helpful on the path to forgiveness leading to happiness. Children, until they feel what is compassion, what is mercy, what is politeness, what is forgiveness, they will not be able to achieve the level of satisfaction. So very necessary, the teachers, it is very necessary for all the teachers to help the children at all levels, which will help us to feel that what another is experiencing. Develop a classroom environment to foster creativity, openness, and respect for all. There should be time to time classroom activity. So here it is suggested to develop a classroom environment which would develop creativity, openness, means the hesitation which a child often has, that openness, free to speak to the teacher, at the same time, respect for all. So time to time, teachers are required to bring some changes in the classroom environment by showing or by introducing some activities which would upgrade the students physically, mentally, means overall improvement would be there with the students. How happiness, now my next point is how happiness in the classroom enhances the teaching learning process. Happier students, it is also teachers, it has been seen, it has been observed that researchers study, all these show that happier students work better, healthier, do well in assessments, and are generally more successful. It is always there. It is always there. You must have, even when you are in the class, you must have felt the same thing. That those students who are very smiling, cheerful, jovial, and always positive, they perform well in the assessments. They perform well and they are always successful. School leaders, parents, and you, if focusing on student happiness detract from serious learning, all could be wrong. So children, happiness is very much important. the teacher's responsibility to see each one of the child is happy, and if there is any serious problem with the child, that is also being sorted out by the teacher. And the teachers are here to see a smile on the face of each child. This is teachers' duty. This is our moral duty. We are teachers. We should not forget that we are here to develop all round, means improvement in students. The evidence also shows that schools that work on developing student well-being not only have happier students, but that they do better academically and their behavior improves at the same time. The researchers have also seen that there are evidences that shows that schools that work on developing students, the schools or the teachers who are constantly working for development of the students are happier. They are happier students, we can say, and that they do better. And of course, they perform well academically, as well as the improvement in their behavior also takes place. Researchers have proved that children don't learn. Why? There are reasons. Why don't we find all children same? This question comes to my mind, that why don't I find all the children same, all the children having same mentality? No, it cannot be, because researchers have proved that children don't learn. Who are the children? What kind of children are they who don't want to learn? When they are under stress, when they are pressurized with some personal or maybe academically or with some other reason, they are fearful in the class. They are very introvert type. They are fearful. They have some fear in their minds. They are not having fun in school because they are not mixing up with all rest of the children, because they are not getting that fun which they are supposed to get. So there are reasons why children are not learning well. They are not performing well, which is not coming up to the standard or up to the mark of the teacher or of the school. Now I come to teachers. Now I will come to the point, the discussion which I'm going to do on positive environment creates happy children. Okay. Before that, I would like to say something like schools have a major role to play in increasing the happiness index, HI, happiness index of our future citizens. If the schools are successful in creating a happy learning environment, we shall have happier children and a happier future. Cultivating an environment which maximizes both development and delight among the students should be the overarching learning outcome across schools. This is only possible in a system where every child is felt valued. Child-centered learning, the environment, the cultural ethos that the school follows, the conduct and behavior of the teachers, and a stress-free learning environment encourages joyful learning. These are very important points for all of us to know. Positive environment creates happy children. Yes, always. Among various parameters used for measuring the happiness index, psychological well-being of people is considered a prime factor. The schools play a significant role in developing right attitudes, perspectives, and emotional stability among the growing children. We must know that we all have to be very much positive towards when we are dealing with the children. Our attitude should be right. Our emotional stability should be right. Our perspective means how we take the things in the right direction we are taking or not. So all these things are the factors, important factors. Our positive environment contributes extensively to psychological well-being. Happiness should be main objective of education and should reflect through the vision and mission of a school. An academic environment that allows children to make mistakes and learn from them is the need of the hour. In today's competitive age, with greater access to social networks, peer pressure, dependence on gadgets, and the pressure to perform, students often lack the necessary emotional support. Yes, emotional support is very much required for everyone. Schools can create an environment where each teacher is a counselor and a cordial mentor or mentee relationship exists. Yes, now the time has come where the teachers is a counselor. We are not only act as a teacher, but we are also a counselor. We are counseling the children. What problem, if we detect any kind of problem in the student, we have to give a counseling to the child and to know the problem and to try to solve the problem immediately. Activities where students can give expression to the emotion should be advocated. Dance, drama, poetry, theater outlets other than theory and text focused on developing the emotional intelligence help develop the right attitude. These are all the important factors which can give the students the right way to follow and the right way to come up in future. Let's give our students an engaging environment. Let them benefit from experiential learning. Allow them to identify their strengths. Let learning be an enriching experience. So, first thing we have to always keep in our mind, teachers, that the classroom dealt by the teachers should always be lively and vibrant. The entire atmosphere should be very much lively and vibrant. The student should be encouraged. The student will be loved to attend the class of that particular teacher. Now, the next point we have some key points, some key points to happiness. What are those? Another key to happiness: time management, fostering unity in diversity, integrating curriculum with happiness. Time management is very important. Time management is very important for all. Regular workshops on helping children make their own work plans, take ownership of the learning, analyze their results, and setting time framers can help children better manage their time. Fostering unity in diversity. Cultural diversity and the flexibility is a positive index of a happy community of people. Given that India has a strong cultural diversity and history of meaningful and positive cohabitation, it becomes all the more important. For this, children should be engaged to show interest in different cultures and appreciate diversity. Celebration of all religious and national festivals, learning about personalities across states brings in you and the spirit of oneness. And integrating curriculum with happiness. The National Curriculum Framework and pedagogical strategies adopted by the schools should be unified with the concept of happiness in more focused manner. The objective of education is to enable people to lead happy lives and creating better human beings. To achieve this, all activities should be child-centered. Teachers and parents should be oriented towards the concept of happiness. School should add a tool in assessment where the happiness quotient could be measured through parents, teacher, and student feedback. Happiness should be a culture built which can be felt, seen, heard, and experienced by all stakeholders. If children have an emotionally enriching and a balanced day, they will come running to the school every day. Yes, this is very much required in each one of the students. If they find the school environment very positive, they would run, they would not spend a day in house. They will come running to the school for attending the school. Now, 3 things need to happen for a happy classroom to exist. Okay, let us know that. For a classroom to be safe, it should be under control. A teacher needs to implement procedures, policies that promote physical, social, and emotional security. Be firm but fair. Yes. When the teachers are in the classroom should be the classroom should be disciplined. A teacher needs to implement, if required, if teacher thinks that something should be implemented, some procedures, some methods, some policies which would promote, which would give better result so far the physical, social, and emotional security are concerned. Teachers are required to be firm but fair. We cannot be strict to that extent where a child will be hurt emotionally. So when we deal with the child, with the children, we have to be firm, but we have to be justified. We have to be fair. All students to have a say inside the classroom and listen to their sentiments. Model the behavior you want to see from your students. This means you have to set a good example for them to follow. Yes, when we need our student to be perfect in all sense, then the teachers require to set an example, a good example first. Tips. Now, tips on how to achieve a happy classroom. These are the tips. I'm discussing teachers with you, and I hope that we all will implement, we all will do all the tips which are going to be discussed right now. Invest some time to get to know your students. Make an effort to know each and every one of your students. Not only will this allow students to feel comfortable in class, but will also help a teacher build a caring classroom community. Knowing your students will help you understand them better. Yes, we have to invest, we have to spare some time with them to know them better, and so that each one of the students feel comfortable in class. They would know that, yes, this classroom is mine. My teachers are mine. They are taking care. They are so good. They are treating us so well. Next is use humor. Yes, the teachers should be strict, but as well as at the same time, some humor is also required for the students. Always strictness is not good. Use any opportunity to use humor inside the class. Like what I'll say, like some jokes or some funny story or any experiences of your own you can share with your class that will give them some moments to entertain themselves. Try not to take things too seriously all the time. Whatever subject you are teaching, you can relate it to real world situations to better engage students. Third is give praise. This is very much required. See, teachers, we have seen it is not only for the children. Praise. We all, even the adult people, they also need praise. So for what? what is the question? Then the children, it is must. Do not underestimate the power of praise. We should not underestimate anybody's strength or anybody's weaknesses. That should not be underestimated. We should praise the children for their lovely performances or for their any answer they say in the class. We can give them, like, it can be as simple as saying, good job, wonderful, yes, you have done that. Instead of highlighting what is wrong, do the opposite and have good behavior stand out. Students want that kind of attention and will work hard to get it. If we encourage them, even we know that the child has not given the right answer, but we should not keep the child, we should not make the child feel that he's wrong. No, we have to make the child that your answer is okay, your answer is absolutely not right, but it will work out. So you have to encourage the child. Give choices. Usually teachers set the rules and decide how things will go inside the classroom. Students really get a chance to make choices for themselves. Allowing students to have a say in what or how they will learn is a good way to make them happy. Doing so will give students some degree of independence and shows that you trust them. Yes, we have to give them some spaces for making their own choices in the classroom, and that will make the children feel that we are trustworthy, teachers are trusting on us. Allow time for play. Playtime is important in a child's development. It's very important for a healthy growth, for overall development of the child. It helps them grow mentally, socially, and emotionally. Playing is a great creative outlet, allows students to try different things and teaches them how to interact with others. Of course, there's a time for everything, and too much of anything is bad. Solution, know the right time when to play. Yes, give them opportunity, give them the play time, give them a time for play, but that has to be seen that the time is perfect or not. Give students a break. Yes, we have to give the students a break, because the classroom sometimes becomes monotonous for the children. So the students learn best when they are given a chance to rest their brains throughout the school day. The purpose is to refocus students and prevent mental burnout. After each lesson, give students some time off. Even a 5-minute break will go for a long. That means that monotonous, if we give a break to them, that monotonous feeling of monotonous, that will go away. Allot time for play. Playtime. Conclusion. Allow students to get social. Provide opportunities for students to interact with their peers. It will help promote positive classroom environment. Taking about things other than schoolwork. Make students happy. Give students a few minutes each day to communicate with their classmates. And conclusion, at last, not the least, but I say that creating a happy classroom environment is a common goal for many teachers. Inject fun, humor, and playtime, while ensuring focused learning takes place too. Make sure students feel safe, valued, and successful, and that each one feels challenged with achievable goals. Teachers who can achieve a perfect balance between fun and hard work will not only get better results when it comes to grades, but also have happier students under their care. Yes, teachers must keep a perfect balance between fun and studies. That would definitely give good results, that will definitely make the children happy under their care. How to achieve a happy classroom? Yes, 10 ideas to create a happy classroom. 10 ideas are there. Happiness. Here are 10 ways to foster happy classrooms to maximize learning and teach your students some life-affirming skills. Number 1 is, I want to speak on tribal classrooms. Tribal classrooms means tribal classrooms are, we know that humans are an innately tribal and social species. We operate the best and learn the most when we feel safe, secure, and connected to others. Tribal classroom is a classroom where the students feel and act as though they belong to their own family or tribe. This kind of classroom will make for a more caring, supportive, and motivated student. Next is mindfulness. That means be still. There's growing evidence that mindfulness interventions, I have already discussed, teachers, with you, can help children reduce their levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, while increasing the levels of positive emotion, attention, and even metacognition. Create moments of stillness in your day when your class pause. Take some deep breath, means take some pause and take a deep breath and then focus on the normal breathing. Each time their mind wanders away from the breathing, guide them to gently bring their attention back to the breath. Every time you bring your attention back to the breath after it has wandered, you strengthen the parts of the brain in charge of attention and emotional regulation. These are, I'm discussing 10 ideas to create a happy classroom. The teachers have suggested whatever the means you can adopt or the possibilities of adopting or creating a happy classroom by taking these 10 ideas. Happier children work better, get ill less, have less time of school, and get higher grades. So researchers and studies show that happier children, they perform well in the assessment. Rewire negativity bias. That means what went well? The human brain has an innate negativity bias. Yes, human brains have positive thinking, also negative thinking. This helped keep us alive on the savannah as ancestors who could spot dangers quickly and avoid them, survived and passed on their genus. But our more mindful ancestors who stopped to admire a beautiful vista were gobbled up by a lion. This means that our ancestors, our forefathers, they used to spot the danger quickly, and they knew how what was the way out. Okay, so that was the thing that we should know. Beforehand we should know that what are the problems with the particular children, and what were the way out, what are the way outs for that. The stretch zone. Learning new things is a key facet of a happy life. When we are engaged and interested in our work, we do better. But if the work is not challenging enough, we get bored, and too challenging, and we get overwhelmed. Means learning is a continuous process, teachers, and learning new things, that also gives us interest to complete the work. But when we find the work is not so interesting, what we do, we go back. We don't take interest for that. We we want our work to be challenging work. Okay, and when the work is challenging, we are interested, we get interest, and we are overwhelmed also. Aim for the elite and students to just beyond what they can currently do, as that is where neuroplasticity is a maximum and more maximized and most learning takes place. Means we have to see the children about their brain, how many children or how far the children can excel, how far the children could do better. Flow, optimal, most desirable or satisfactory. Flow. When the optimal state of psychological being known as flow, when students are able to fully focus on a task where the level of difficulty is just right and there are clear goals in place, flow can encourage deeper learning, greater long-term interest in subjects. Play to their strengths. Character strengths are the core parts of ourselves that shape our personality and motivate us. Studies show that when we use our strength in novel ways, we are significantly happier. Why not get your class to take this youth STEM questionnaire to identify the top signature strengths and task them with using them in their social work? One way to capitalize on this is by taking a questionnaire that unearths key traits and encourages students to use them in everyday life. Practice kindness. I have already discussed, teachers, with you all that practice kindness means we have to practice kindness and to teach the kindness to the students. Humans are inborn creatures to be kind. We get more happiness from buying a gift for others than we do for ourselves. Kindness is a contagious too, and it even makes us healthier. The best way to spread it is to be kind yourself. Teachers who use kind words are polite, respectful, patient, and well-mannered, have children who imitate. You could even encourage your children to carry out random acts of kindness by holding a kindness week. Yes, we can start a week. That week would be named as a kindness week. The whole week we can show them, or we can ask them to do some activities related to kindness. Be optimistic. Yes, we have to be optimistic, because optimistic persons are happier. Unless and until we are optimistic, we cannot give a healthy and developing personality to the children. Exercise. Exercise is it's very much required for everyone to grow properly physically. Exercise is one of the single biggest things we can do to boost our physical and mental health. Walk the talk. What is that? Walk the talk. To create a happy classroom for your children, you must first work on yourself. If you don't walk the talk, your message will be inauthentic and your class won't buy into it. So make sure you look after yourself and practice what you preach. Ultimately, a happy teacher makes a happy classroom. So teachers have to practice before we go to the classroom. We have to give our best to them. But before that, we have to preach. We have to know that what all things we are going to talk with them, what all things we are going to do in the class. So before that, the teacher must be competent enough to deal with the students. So preach first. The teachers have to preach themselves, and then we have to go to the classes and deal with the students. That would make a happy, ultimately that would make a happy teacher. That Ultimately, a happy teacher makes a happy classroom. So, teachers, I would like to sum up today's in-house training program, and let us have teachers. We know that we have to. I'll just give you some tips also, like some small tips which I want to give. If you can do it, but if not, but try at least. That cultivate acceptance for your students' behavior. Spend some time playing with your students. Make meditation a part of your daily routine. Make friends with your colleagues. Take a short walk during your free time at work. And I would like to sum up with the sentences. Happiness is the primary motive behind everything we do. So becoming happy teachers should be one of our goals, despite all the stress associated with our profession. We can utilize the above mentioned tips for the fulfillment of this goal. So let's together make the world happier and start it from the classrooms. Thank you, teachers. I would like to thank our management for giving me this opportunity to conduct the in-house training program. Thank you so much. Thanks again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.